Hi, Scott here. Hope you're well. So let's get into some charts. Yesterday was a bit of a low liquidity day, I think. Well, they had a public holiday in the UK and in where else was it? In Japan as well, I believe. So it's a bit of low liquidity, and it seemed to be that not a lot of action was playing out nicely. But we've got a few things setting up for today, so hopefully the volume's all back in the market today and we can get on with some good stuff. So let me just share my screen and hide my camera, and then we'll get stuck into it. Okay. Here we go then. So we've got a few things to look at. Dollar CAD, that's interesting. Okay, so we can start off over here with Aussie Swiss. Aussie Swiss higher time frames, we have the lows being rejected, and we've got some good bullish price action starting to happen now, so it could be reversal underway. So it looks like it. I think you've got big MACD divergence here from these lows, and the RSI is pretty oversold as well. So we expect to get some kind of bullish price action for a while. Right, the lower time frame. So last night we had this play out, which was one of the ones I was looking at taking. I didn't because of this big bearish candle here, and on the 4-hour there's also a very bearish 4-hour candle close. So I kept out of it. This was the same with a few of the Swiss pairs, Aussie Swiss, Kiwi Swiss, and Kiwi CAD, I think it was, can't remember. So that kept me out of the trade. It actually wouldn't have stopped me out and would have been okay. But the other two that I mentioned, they would have hit stop. So it's always good to be cautious when you get these kind of engulfing candles, because it's unlikely it's going to just turn around and reverse. This took 2 more hours before it started to get some bullish action. It could easily have gone straight through the stop. So we've got some bullish action happening now. It didn't break straight back through the 1 hour 50. So if you took this as an IBO, initial breakout, then discretionary you could, because this one didn't really play out, pulled back a long way. Otherwise you'd wait for the 4-hour break. But there could be another entry arriving soon. We've got from these lows here, we've got the fib drawn from these lows to the top. At the moment, starting to pull back, so maybe they'll give an entry down here somewhere. We've also got the daily pivots here as well, which helps. And the stop will be around here, around this S1 on the daily pivot as well. So that could be a possible trade for not too long, not too far from now. Keep an eye on that one. The other good thing is we've had a definite trend change here. We've got kind of triple bottom, and then we've definitely got from these highs, higher high and a higher high again, and from these lows, a higher low. So that implies a trend change. And we look at the 4-hour as well. Here's the 4-hour. Low, low, higher low. And we've got a high, high, and a higher high. So that's looking like a good trend change on the 4-hour as well, which is what we want to see. That's top of my list there. I think because it's alphabetical, that's also a very good one. So we go to Aussie Yen next. So the Yens, these have been a bit interesting. Have they finished their pullback or not? Some pairs are suggesting they have. Some pairs are suggesting they haven't. It hasn't. So it's a bit of a tricky one. This one, so you've got to take it with caution. and look at the lower time frames to get some kind of confirmation. So this support line here has been retested, as has the daily 20. Slightly bullish candle yesterday. So is this it for the yen strength, and now it's going to keep on going? Well, we don't know, of course. There's a MACD divergence from this high here to now, but there's not from this high here to now. This is higher, this high is higher as well. So, and the RSI is overbought, or was overbought, and now we've got almost back to the halfway line, so it's, as it burns off the overboughtness, is ready to go long. We'll just keep that in mind and be cautious. So we've got a pretty good trend line here, which has been broken and retested, 1 hour trend line. And we've now got a 1 hour 50 break. So we have now the decision as, is this going long and play it long from this pull back to the 1 hour 50 and play it long? Or is this just a pull back to the 4 hour 50 and it's going to keep on going short? That's the burning question. So looking at the 4 hour chart, we've got, zoom in, 4 hour chart, high to low, to a lower high, to a lower low, to a lower high, to a higher low, and a higher high. So we've got a trend change on the 4 hour as well. Is it just putting back to the 4 hour 50 and then going short again, or is that a trend change for good? We don't know, and I'm kind of 50-50 on this one because of the mixed signals from the yen. The Aussie seems to be gaining strength, as we saw with Aussie Swiss just a moment ago. So that's implying that we could have some uptrend here in the Aussie yen. But yeah, that's one that's going to set up pretty soon, actually. I'll keep an eye on that one. There's no real trend line for support. Do we have any levels here for support? Yeah, it's a kind of strong level there, which is right at entry, right at the entry. So that might be some kind of support. We've got these lows here, low there, these highs here, tested it there. About where the entry is going to be, 382 on the fib. 382, oh, we adjust that, it's been moving. So that's based on these lows here. We go down to the bottom, to the original lows, and maybe that's a bit better, maybe not. To see how what it's looking like at the time of entry. We do a couple of choices there for our fib, and that would of course affect our stop. So that's an interesting one. Euro pound. This one we'll be watching for a while. It keeps looking like it's going short, and then it'll blast off long again. So we've had this big candle here, engulfing candle here a few days ago, decelerating, lovely little doji yesterday. So are we now ready to go short? This is a pretty strong level here, going back in time. I'll check that out. Actually on the monthly, you can see there's a doji there on the monthly level. And the highs here touch it. So it's quite a strong level. Let's look at the lower time frame. So you've got this big uptrend, stalling, got this level here, which is acting as resistance now. We've got a kind of triangle happening with these lows, expecting those lows. This is an ABO, advanced breakout. It's a nice little strategy, but you are betting against the trend. So you've got to have some kind of confidence that the trend has changed. Because if you look at this, we're getting higher lows, still getting higher lows. We've got no trend change on the 1 hour, and there won't be on the 4 hour either. So is this level going to hold? We'll see what happens. I'm hoping my preferred entry for an ABO, it goes from here it breaks these highs here, runs the stops because people they've got their short trades on now, seeing this strong level. So run the stops, pulls back down here somewhere, goes up here to make a lower high, and then we have a nice short trade on there. So that's what I like to see. If it just bounces off here and goes down, then I'll probably wait for the break of the 1 hour 50 here. Get a break of that. If that one happens, then you just go from here, break through the 1 hour 50. I'll take a retest the 1 hour 50 and then take a short. So there we go, some options there on euro pound. That's looking pretty good for a down price action today. Euro USD. So we've got this downward long trend line here going way back. Still got some room to it, but not much. I'm not quite sure how much it holds up on the lower time frames. Probably not much. But we're looking like it's hit the lows here. Looks like it's going up. It's not the best of trends. The lower time frames are suggesting that we've got a break here of the 1 hour 50, the red one, and the 4 hour 50, the blue one. We've got a break of that. It's broken up strongly. And should we get a nice pullback to here with the 4 hour 50 and the 1 hour 50 kind of lining up around the 382, then we could then have a nice little CVO. So we've got this trade up here, up to here, back to here in a few hours, and then trade up to the daily 50. So that could be on for later. Okay, dollar CAD. Dollar CAD. It's a bit messy, the nature of the beast, but we've had this strong run up here and a beautiful high test, bearish looking candle yesterday, closing red, closing below the open price of the day. So that's looking like a great reversal candle, good deceleration, beautiful reversal candle. What do we get on the lower time frame? On the 1 hour, we have a good run up. Do we have any trend lines that we've broken? Nothing obvious, is there? Maybe there's a trend line here that it broke. But we are seeing a trend change, are we? Let's have a look. We've got that high, that high. We haven't got a new high yet, a lower high yet, because it's been going down quite strongly. That was the big wick of yesterday's candle. The lows, we've got a low here, so we've got a lower low. So that's implying a trend change. It hasn't really pulled back far enough for me. And also dollar CAD, not really for this time of day. It's more of the UK stroke US session trade. But we could, if we ignored that wick, and get a nice pullback to, we can't ignore that wick and not that one. So if we did get a body that comes down here somewhere in the next 6-8 hours, pull down here and a pullback, that could be on for a nice little trade. So they're the ones which are looking best right now. We'll quickly look at a few others which are maybe set up later. CAD Swiss looks like it's hitting lows and reversing. We need some proof on the lower time frames, and what we've got here is it's banging around here, this kind of level. We've got a higher low, higher highs. I really want to see it break higher. CAD Swiss is a UK-US session kind of pair, so there's plenty of time before it sets up. So hopefully it will put up here, pull back for an entry a bit later on today, and then trade it up to the 4 hour 50. That one I think will, I'm hoping it'll just go a little bit higher, then pull back for an entry. Okay, that's CAD Swiss, Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss has had some bullish strength the last few days. It's hit the daily 20 now. It's kind of stalling there. What do you have here? Okay, so we've now got definitely higher highs and higher lows, got a definite trend change. Looking nice on the 1 hour, it's broken it, retested it. But the 4 hour 50 has been holding it until just the last few hours. It's broken above the 4 hour 50, which is this blue line. Hit the daily 20, which is red, faint red line in here. And I'm hoping it's going to pull up a bit higher. Give my lovely little squiggly arrows. Up a bit higher to here somewhere before pulling back to the 4 hour 50, 1 hour 50 for CBO, complete breakout, and trade that long up to the daily 50. So that could be a nice little trade setting up later today. A few others in the pipeline, hopefully. Pound Swiss, these are all-time lows for this pair, so we need some proof from the lower time frames. We've got some kind of trend change. We've got this really nice long trend line here, going way back on the 1 hour. It's finally broken it, retested it last night, and it's breaking above the 1 hour 50. That's a pretty good indication. We've got higher lows from here to here. Of higher highs, not really. I'm hoping it's going to pull a bit higher. I don't like it where it is now. It's kind of stalling. You see this dotted blue line here at this level. Support there, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. So I don't want to be trading through that line. That looks pretty formidable. I want to see it break above that first. And being pound Swiss, again, it's a sort of UK-US session kind of pair. So got a few hours, another 6-8 hours to play it, to set up before entry. So we'll see how that one plays out. Pound USD, similar kind of price action. It's stalling at these levels here. Needs some proof it's changed direction. We've finally got a higher low, so higher high. There's no higher low yet, so it's a bit risky. Hasn't broken very high, so I wouldn't want to enter here personally. It's a bit too risky. Although it has given a clear break and retest of the 1 hour 50, but with the fibs, just doesn't line up very. It does line up almost, but it's not very clean. A bit risky. Hopefully we'll get a bigger break and a pullback later on today. Kiwi yen. What's that doing there for? Kiwi yen. Okay, if we ignore this trend line here, which is just broken on the daily, so it's pulling down, pulling back. This is one of those yen pairs that looks like it's going long. Some look like going long, some like going short. But there's no proof of it going long yet. There's no trend change. We've still got lower lows, we've still got lower highs. 1 hour 50 still being hasn't been broken yet. So we need some proof that all that to change. We need a higher high, which will give us a break of the 1 hour 50. Then maybe we can go long then. See how that one plays out. Dollar Swiss. Yeah, kind of sideways, choppy, but we do have some nice trends in here. So we've got a big bearish trend here last week. Then pull back to the 1 hour 50. Nice high test. Looks like we could be going short there. So what do we have on the lower time frame? Not that much. We've got still an uptrend. We've still got higher highs and higher lows. We could say we've got lower lows forming now in the short term. But I want to see a nice clear break because it's 1 hour 50 and there's a 4 hour 50 here as well. So if we get a nice clear break of that, a good few hours, a few 4 hour candles as well. And we could have something interesting happening there. And that's what I have for you. There's also these ones down here you can look at, which aren't as good. Yeah, so that's what we're on today. There's a few possibles lining up. Interesting stuff. I hope you found it useful. I will see you tomorrow. Good luck on the charts for your trades, and I'll be speaking to you soon. Take care.